You are now listening to Fight Life Unfiltered.
Yeah, man.
I need your help.
With
I need to get a dog
why am I the expert on dogs?
because should I get a big dog or a small dog?
How old are your kids?
5, 3, 1.
I mean, if you get them when they're a puppy, it really shouldn't matter. I would just be
Did you
scared.
have a dog growing up?
I actually did. We went big dog to small dog. So I grew up with a yellow lab. It's an English blockhead yellow lab. He was technically obese. He got up to 130 pounds. He had diabetes. He died at 7.
Did you feed him like cereal?
No, he was just a big boned guy. He was just a big,
I don't mean to laugh.
he was just a broad fella.
A big boned guy.
Yeah, he was just a broad fella. His name was Ike. That was supposed to be my name.
You were gonna be an Ike.
Yeah, my dad named us, or he named Wyatt after Wyatt Earp, and I was going to be named Ike from the other character in Tombstone.
Yeah.
But my mom shot it down, I think. Well, actually, I think my grandma shot it down. I don't think my mom was aware of
Really?
the name. Yeah, clearly she never watched Tombstone with him. But yeah, I had a yellow lab, and then we got a mutt. And then she just passed. She lived for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
They tend to be the ones that live
Yeah,
forever,
she
huh?
lived. I mean, we got her. Ike died when I was 6th grade. We got Bailey when I was in 5th grade. So, so you forget about the one that's about to die. And then we got my personal favorite Beagle, Lucy, when I was a freshman, and she's still kicking it.
Really?
Yeah, I think she lives longer. She's a little bit special needs. I mean, she's not like diagnosed, but like we know there's
Yeah.
little tism there. And she's she's enjoying her life. I think
Yeah.
she's better as an only dog.
I had a
But
beagle.
dude, I love them. I love hound dogs.
Okay.
Big hound dog
Yeah.
guy. I personally I want to get a wiener dog. So my impulse purchase, like most people, they go to the UFC, they win their
Gonna buy a car.
knockout bonus. They get a car, big chain. I'm gonna just give half my money to my dad, tell him to invest it, and I'm gonna buy a wiener dog. Yeah. I don't
My
know.
brother just bought a wiener dog, and they've changed its name 3 or 4 times.
Dude, that's the hardest thing for me. That's honestly,
The name.
yeah,
I know
it's
people
so
where names are
important.
really hard. My wife was friends with a lady who had a child. I'm allowed to say this, by the way, because they don't speak anymore. But this lady had a child through a sperm donor.
Okay.
Okay. She picked like the traits of everything that she wanted, and she had this child. She named the child a name. And for like a year, my oldest and her son were like the same age, and my wife would get together with this lady, and the kids would play. And my wife was always kind of complaining. And I'm like, well, listen, like, don't don't be so like judgmental. It's good to have like somebody. And I was like forcing her to
What
kind of
was
be
the
friends
name?
with her.
Oh, what was
I'll tell you
okay.
offline. I don't want to be an
All
asshole.
right. You know what? I don't care. I think that might be a bold take, but
Yeah,
it's one. You don't
yeah,
fucking know.
yeah.
I don't think.
Names are tricky, man. My grandfather.
You guys are good at naming.
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys are unique.
yeah. No, my wife's very picky about that. I would never dare to like. I'm the name thing. I get veto power.
Hendrix is a great name. I love that one. What's your
Hudson
I like Hudson.
and Hawkins.
Yeah, those are all good
Yeah,
names.
I just get
And they're
veto
all
power. That's
and
it.
they're all H.
Like you tell me what you want. There's a
There's no way
couple.
you didn't name Hendrix. There's no way that wasn't you're wearing
Uh,
a shirt with the name Hendrix
I know,
above
right?
your.
Yeah, no. I think my who did give Hendrix? My aunt or my mom? But it was one that we were considering. We wanted musicians, preferably guitar players.
See, I'm happy. women should exist, right? And the reason
Bold take.
the reason is like I always wanted to name my son Anakin, and I've never found a girl that
Would
agrees
ever
with
allow
that.
that to
Yeah.
happen.
But if it was just guys in this world, we'd have some wild, wild names.
Speaking of dogs, that's my old roommate, one of my brother's business partner, one of my good friends. He's got a dog named Anakin.
Yeah.
A dog.
That's
Yeah.
that's what my mom did. She's like, you can name a fucking dog. Like you cannot name him like he should have. It would have been cooler if my name was
Yeah.
like Isaac, and
Yeah.
then they just like call me
Called
Ike.
you Ike. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can legally change it.
Yeah. I mean, she did.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. Speaking of dogs, how many dogs do you think I had growing up?
And because you're asking that a lot,
Yeah.
12. Shoot, lower.
More.
Oh my God.
Probably 20.
Why? Farm?
No. No. Most of them didn't last very long.
Why?
There's a plethora of reasons. My mom had to go to the SPCA at one point and use her sister's name because like she would go to the SPCA all the time. It sounds so much worse than it is. I mean, I had a dog named Zach when I was little.
Terrible name.
Yeah, that was it was a little
Jesus.
it was a terrier.
Maybe these dogs are killing themselves because their names are so bad.
Yeah. What did I have after Zach? Then we had Boston, and Boston was
Good
like
name.
Boston was a chow, and Boston
I like chows.
was aggressive, and so after like a year and a half, they had to get rid of Boston. Then
Chows are aggressive.
we had a Chesapeake Bay Retriever named Gomer that we had for 2 days, and they told my mom at the SPCA not to get it because it was aggressive and it was big, and my dad got bit in the face.
Maybe you should get a small dog. Might be in your family genes to not be the best dog owner.
Yeah, the Beagle got hit by an ATA bus. I had another one named Nicky.
Overkill for sure.
The neighbors broke its front legs, and then that dog got hit.
What?
It was in a cast, and then that dog
How'd
got
the
hit.
neighbors break his front legs?
They were doing like a spinny
Oh.
thing with it. Yeah, not nice.
Damn, bro.
We had a pit bull, a Blue Cross pit bull that attacked the neighbor, and then it had a puppy named Tyson that it was like never ending. I came home one time, Lucas, and I'm not lying about this. I opened up my bedroom and there was a German Shepherd on there named Thor. And I shut the door and I went down. I'm like, there's a German Shepherd in my bedroom. And my mom's like, yeah, I picked him up today. Saw some lady like had it. She couldn't take care of it. My mom decided it was a good idea to bring it home.
Jesus Christ.
We had Shadow, Thor,
Shadow,
Nicky.
I like that name.
We had a dog named Blackie. I had a dog named Harley that was actually it was a badass Mastiff puppy. Neighbors up the street had it. I was jumping my bike on a ramp with cinder blocks and a thing of plywood, and it kept running in front of us. And I told my dad, my mom was working her job at night. My dad was probably jamming out to Pink Floyd with his headphones on. And I'm like, dog's in the way. Dogs are smart. It won't get in front of you.
Did you kill a dog?
Yeah. Ran it over with my bike.
Justin, what the fuck?
I mean, it was bad. We shouldn't have ever been allowed to have dogs.
Clearly. Holy
We lived on a
shit,
busy
bro.
road.
No, don't get a
Busy road.
dog. Don't get a fucking
We
dog.
had such a great dog named Charlie.
Oh my God.
R.I.P. Charlie.
We might have to cut that.
I know it's rough, right?
Hey, dog murder over here.
Definitely
How old were
wasn't
you?
on purpose. It was before sixth grade because it was before I moved.
Dude, that would stick with me for a while.
That's why I'm talking about
I
it
ran
now.
over a squirrel once, and I think about
Fucked
it
you up?
frequently. Yeah. Little fellow was just looking for nuts and stuff. I don't know what they do.
How hard would it be for you? I mean, getting back to the whole fighting thing, maybe to get off of that topic.
Yeah.
You're in a violent sport.
I don't mind hurting people. So
Like what if you hurt somebody like really bad?
as long as I didn't fuck up their, like if I put them in like a coma, that would fuck with me. That
think
would
it
fuck
would?
with me to the point where like,
Not sure you'd be able to continue to do it.
yeah, or like killed somebody. That would fuck with me, maybe. But like if I like break their arm and they never have an arm again, I'd be fine with that. Or like, yeah,
Hmm.
that's never actually anything I've ever thought about. That's crazy. Yeah, maybe if I like put them in a coma or contributed to what is now the BJ Penn of the,
Do you think he's being serious
yes.
and not trolling people?
No, he's fucked up bad.
You think it's CTE and not something else? I've heard people say it's drugs. I've
It's
seen
a mix, dude.
PEE.
It's a mix of, here's something people don't understand. Sane people don't get into fighting, right? We're all clinically fucking crazy, right? And then um you add CTE, right? Which is probably the last part of this, right? You add one, they're all like we're all clinically fucking nuts. We're fighting people in a cage in our underwear in front of fucking a bunch of people, right? And then there's also the fact that there's such high highs and low lows, right? And with that, typically comes like drugs and alcohol, right? You add that on top of it, you get these every fight, right? And then you go on to live a normal life and you don't know how to live a normal life because you've lived in such a fucking peaks and valleys for so
Mm.
long. So, I mean, what I think this is the product of MMA. It really is. It's the unfortunate truth of it, to be honest. Like, it really is. Like, I think it's kind of an inevitable thing. And I think if there's anything the UFC needs to do, it's provide a a way for fighters to kind of I think fighters should have to go to like a psychologist. Um, maybe like once every 3 months or after a fight or something.
Almost as like a measuring stick to see if certain things are staying
Yeah, and
on.
maybe that's not on them, or maybe that's not on the UFC, maybe it's on the fighters, right? But I think that look at firefighters, look at cops, look at like
Yeah.
they all I'm pretty sure are mandated to do that, or at least some departments I know. I was really close with a firefighter. I knew that I know that was a part of their thing. They had to go. Um, and I know that sounds crazy because it's a sport, but it's a different sport. It's not like it's kind of like a life or death situation. Your body's not used to going through that, right? So
Mhm.
I think like maybe they go to like that could be something providing or at least having that as an option, right? Having it as a part of the plan. You can pass on it.
Even as a liability,
You can pass on it or you cannot, right? Like,
but it
and
was
most of
made
them will probably
available to
pass
you.
on it. Yeah, but it was made available to you.
And then maybe it's mandated if you're somebody who's had like a certain number of severe like knockouts or something like that, that the brain damage is even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I
That's a
mean,
tough call.
yeah, and maybe that's like me pussifying MMA in a way, but like I also feel like if you don't want people to be going off the rails, and I'm gonna be completely honest, we're just getting into the generation of the first MMA fighters getting old.
Yeah, you may start to see it
If you don't think
popping.
this shit's gonna get worse, it's gonna get way worse. You're gonna see people going crazy, right? I do you have to have a balance of it. You have to have control or you have to take care of people you know are fighting. Check on them. Check on them when they win because it's almost worse. When you lose, it's like your life doesn't change much, right? Somebody told me this. I think it was Mike, maybe. When you lose, your life doesn't change much, right? You have a loss. For the most part, you're in the same exact position you were before. You just took a loss, and all right, we go from there. You win, right? You get this fucking like clout. You get this high that's like an ecstasy. You get all this stuff.
And expectations.
And along with that come expectations. Along with that, also, you have to fight better people. Which is like most sports, you don't. When you win, it's
There's
like,
more voices
yeah,
too.
it's fucking crazy.
People
Yeah,
criticism.
more criticism, more everything, right? And you mix that with people that, like I said, are already crazy. Um, it's gonna, I don't know, it's just like a revolving door of
How much of that do you think plays into the success and the growth of the sport because of those elements that haven't quite materialized into what you're talking about, but the process of creating it is what actually people are interested in.
What do you mean?
So all of the things that you're talking about are the result of the rise through the sport, right? It's the crazy guy who gets into a cage and fights people,
Yeah.
but who is affected by winning,
hmm
that rise, all of that, right? The rise, the people talking shit, all of that is happening to the fighter and creates, in combination with head trauma, this outcome that potentially can happen. But how much of the success and the explosion of MMA, the UFC specifically, is tied to all of the individual elements that we're talking about that creates it, right? I like the UFC because I'm a fan of fighting, but I'm also, just like a reality TV show, I'm a fan of all of the voices that are talking, which are a part of making that fighter then a little crazy. I'm a fan of, you know, uh, the excitement of the winning that then becomes the anxiety that adds to the problem. Right?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things there, right? I think MMA is the biggest soap opera in the world, right?
Right. It is.
I think if they marketed this shit right, like they could get a real big women audience.
Don't think that that's not a small part of why TKO
Oh
and the
yeah,
WWE, because there is the storyline
and
that,
it's organic, it's real, right?
yeah,
That's what reality TV show wants, like reality TV wants to be, is
and it's animosity.
yeah, because you actually have to fist fight each other at the end of the day. Um, and then I don't know, man. I will. Another thing is like, why are vlogs of MMA fighters so big? Why are like, what do they do on a daily basis so big? It's because you're like, dude, this dude's fucking nuts. I got really into watching Justin Gaethje, right? I love Justin Gaethje. I love his personality. I love how like lone wolf he is. He just like lives by himself in a fucking really nice house.
Mhm.
And it's just like, I don't know. It takes a unique person to step in a cage. It takes a very unique person to rise to the top of this sport. And I think that check on people, check on the fighters after they win. That's the biggest thing. Like I think that's when people get affected the most.
Look at
Success.
Connor.
Exactly. Connor's the prime example. Conor McGregor is an unfortunate reality, right? Conor McGregor and BJ Penn are unfortunate realities of this MMA world. That's how it works. It really is. Um,
Chuck.
there's more and it's not like
Tito.
yeah, well,
I mean,
most of them. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, it is, right?
You
I'm
think John,
kind of like going through this list.
I'm a
Oh, there
huge
are
John
more.
Jones fan. You think he's just gonna be fucking chilling after he's done after he retires? There's a reason why he's still fighting, bro.
His face will pop up in the
It
news.
keeps him sane, right? And I think that's important. The only person I would say, there's two people I could say, and it makes sense because they were stoic throughout their career.
GSP.
GSP and Habib. GSP and Habib were like, they're fine, and that's about it. Max Holloway, he'll be fine. But most of them keep fighting because it's what keeps them sane. It was their medicine, right? And that's,
Mike Tyson.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is like a hard conversation for a lot of people to have, but like I think I think it's a lot of fighters medicine for like trauma, disorders, all this shit.
Yeah.
But I think it's more productive, right? I think if they jump on they jump on fucking SSRIs, they probably won't accomplish as much, right? You gave them 10, 15 years of chasing a goal. They accomplish this goal. They have a buttload of money. I don't know. But I do think like you think Sean Strickland would be a productive member of society if he
No,
wasn't fighting.
He'd be in prison.
Yeah, he'd be in, dude, most of them would be in fucking prison. We're crazy. We're all crazy people. I think that's like, that's a tough conversation, but I think that's something that fighters need to kind of understand, right? Right. I need to protect myself when I win. I need to protect my mental when I win. And I also think their families need to understand, their coaches need to understand, and the people around them.
I think this is the one area. I'm not a union for the fighters person, and that may be a popular or an unpopular opinion depending on who you're talking
I
to.
think the fighters need a union.
But I would say they
For
need
that
something
shit.
for this shit.
Yeah.
I don't like the argument when people portray the UFC as not being good for the fighters. I think the
Yeah.
UFC is fantastic for the fighters.
Oh, yeah.
That may be an unpopular opinion also depending on who you ask, because people like to get caught up in numbers and all kinds of things, but it's like from a business standpoint, they're running a successful business that thrives, that then gives additional opportunities. And if all it was all ever about was just giving people a bunch of money, the UFC wouldn't have the amount of money to disperse. And so it would dry up and die because people would want all this money, but the product would suffer. And then you wouldn't be able to actually get what you get. And I think millions and millions of dollars that these guys are making, like successful fighters aren't broke. And I would say 2/3 of the UFC roster make a good living.
Yeah.
Now you can how you break that all down, but like I don't think it's as bad as people.
I don't think it's as bad as people think. I think just it's a risk to reward thing.
Yeah.
Too. Like, all right, if you're gonna pursue this lifestyle, this is what, dude, I'll tell you right now, when it comes to amateur fighters, low level pros, whoever, people aren't willing to do the shit to get there.
Mhm.
Right. And that might be just the
That's
world.
the new society.
Yeah,
we've
that might
been
be the new society we
created.
live in now. But people like expect or think that they're gonna fucking be able to work a 9 to 5 and be a pro MMA fighter. Oh, you're not. It's not possible. I mean, it is possible, okay? But you're not gonna sleep and it's probably gonna affect your career, right? So what's the alternative? You're gonna be poor as fuck for a very long time for a goal you might attain. Are you crazy enough to pursue that? Yes. All right. That's where if somebody that's crazy enough to pursue it, that's the type of person that makes it. If you're not, if you're like, I have to live comfortable, I have to be able to do X, Y, and Z, then you're not gonna fucking attain it because you're not crazy enough to chase the goal.
Well,
That's how it
the
works.
fuel behind the sport, because
Yeah.
you can do a lot of things and not be like you are not going to get punched in the face and have to exert the amount of physical energy and training and focus. Such a hard thing. It's like being a Navy SEAL. You're never going to get a poorly capable Navy SEAL because nobody who has the mindset to give up is going to ever make it. And you're never going to make it to the UFC,
Dude,
on a fluke. You're going to be so driven, and so it's like you get this. It comes to a head of just a bunch of ultra competitive. I'm not afraid. I've given up, and I live it. I wanted it more than I wanted to breathe.
yeah.
Thing.
Yeah, and like it fighters nowadays, and like I'm talking generally, like a lot of fighters nowadays want to be a Navy SEAL, but they don't want to go through fucking boot camp. Oh, then you not fucking Navy, like you're not okay. You have nothing to offer. You're just a regular ass person with a pipe dream. You know what I mean? If you're not doing the things day in and day out or sacrificing the things, dude, the amount of sacrifice it takes to be an MMA fighter, to be a professional MMA fighter at a high level, people don't fucking get. Like, it's crazy. Right? You have to just be able to take L's and continue to just be like, nah, I'll fight. When a lot of people, life circumstances will happen and people will be like, oh, I need to take a break. I need to take a couple months off.
I see
I need
so
to,
many posts online from different people that I'm like,
dude,
what are you doing?
I will live in my car and go fucking fight next week.
I saw one the other day. Somebody posted some stupid shit on Facebook, and I'm just like, if I had $1 for every time I saw you posting dumb stuff, that's why you're where you're at right now.
Yeah, and that's just generally in life. I think people just cannot face fucking adversity and be able to continue. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now I'm angry.
Now you're angry.
Now I'm upset. My blood's boiling.
You've got a grappling match coming up, don't you?
Yeah. Yep. I'm doing Fight to Win next Friday.
Really?
Yeah, it's right by you, actually. It's in Cranberry.
Where at?
Don't know. Hotel. Somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, let me look at it. Yeah.
Is it the DoubleTree?
Might be. Do they have events?
They had the tattoo convention, so I know they've got the space,
That's sick.
which I go tomorrow to get this thing worked on again.
Dude, that's exciting as fuck.
I'm gonna get a picture of my dog.
It is in Mars, PA, at the DoubleTree by Hilton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same place.
Yep. I'm gonna go fucking
Really?
grapple next Friday.
Next Friday. So not this Friday, the Friday following. What time? Like Friday night?
Nighttime. Yeah.
How do I get it? Are there tickets?
But yeah, it's tickets. He said there'd be like anywhere between 40 and 60.
Oh yeah.
I'll start selling them. I'm not like super.
You'll get so yeah, just
Yeah,
keep
I get
keep a
percentage
few.
and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'm doing that. I just want to compete. And then I got offered, my management hit me up, like, hey, do you want to grapple on the CFFC card? I wanted to grapple on the last CFFC card in December. I didn't hit anybody up about it, but I saw it. I think Mike's the only person that knew. I like showed him in the locker room one day, and I was on vacation, and I was
That's
bummed.
when you were in Denver?
Yeah. I was also hurt. But I was Sean Brady was on it,
Yeah,
right?
it's when
And
he fought Boogeyman.
Sean Brady's like somebody I really take a lot of
Yeah.
inspiration from, and it's because he competes in grappling while being an MMA fighter. And I think that's the true, like, you're a martial artist. Um, so I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And I either hung up or I texted him back like 10 minutes later, and I was like, who's it against? Because it's grappling. I don't really give a fuck. And then he was like, you're never gonna believe me. And I was like, I mean, I clearly will. And he was like, Lucas Bird. I was like, I don't believe you. He was like, yeah, you're grappling. He was like, well, let's see if we can do it. Like a week went by, and then he hits me back up. I actually trained with Lucas Bird at Immortal Martial Arts during COVID, and we did grappling together. And we followed each other since. We went and got dinner with Matt. Super cool kid. Well, I guess it's my age, so dude. And I messaged him. I was like, yeah, let's do this match. It'd be fun. He was like, are you gonna pull guard? I was like, absolutely not. I don't have it in me because I won't. I'll wrestle with him. I'll die on my shield. I don't give a fuck. And yeah,
What's his
signed it.
has he done grappling events before? Like
No, this
jiu-jitsu?
first one.
First one.
He started training. Like I think like he trained during COVID. I think in the summer, so train. He's from Cincinnati. Yeah.
So definitely gonna be an advantage in the submission game.
In the submission game, definitely with me. Takedown game, you would assume him, but I've never wrestled anybody and not taken them down. I've never, even the highest level guys, anybody in college I wrestled that was a All-American or ranked really high, I took them down at least one time. And I think that it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah.
I think I will go out for 6 minutes and press the pace, and Lucas is gonna meet me in the middle. He won his NCAA finals match. I was rooting for him. Like I'm a Lucas Bird fan. And he won it off of just like pure grit and being a badass, right? And that's one of the reasons I'm like super excited about it. Is like I know if I club him in the head, he's gonna club me back harder. And I'm
My
excited.
hope is that everybody listening to this knows who Lucas Bird is. But if you don't know who Lucas Bird is, you're my dad listening to this. Lucas Bird is the short king that has like the volleyball player
Girlfriend 6'3".
Yes, and he's what, 5'4"?
5'6",
5'6".
5'5". Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Middle. He's the height of my brother.
Yeah. So he won NCAAs at 133 this year. He's ranked number 1 in the country the whole year. Right?
Yep.
Number 1 seed wins NCAAs. DC, Daniel Cormier is on the mic, and he's like, Lucas Bird's a short king. He's like, his girlfriend's 6'3". Right?
Dude, that was the funniest.
It's so funny. And he went viral, dude. He's been going on like a press tour basically about he was just with DC at the UFC Miami. They went to Killcliff where I'm going in 2 weeks. And yeah, he was just down there. So yeah, I think from there he was like, yeah, I want to do MMA after. I think he always knew it, but like, I think he has 1 more year of eligibility. He's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm fucking game to do anything. I'll go fucking, face anybody
What
in their
weight?
sport. 140. It's gonna be a little bit of a cut. But I'm excited because I've never traveled in cut weight. So it's kind of like a test right before my LFA fight. So I'm supposed to fight an LFA in June.
Mhm.
So, I think that's important as well. Like being able to travel. It's in Atlantic City. Carly Joe Thomas fights the next day.
Oh, nice.
So I got 2 nights at the hotel. It was one of my negotiating things. My manager hooked me up with. Getting paid a little bit. Fuck
Fuck
yeah.
yeah.
Sick.
Dude,
Sponsors need to hit me up. I'm gonna be on Fight Pass. Like I'm gonna be on Fight Pass more than anybody is on Fight Pass between the day of May 23rd and June 20th. I'm gonna be on twice. Ain't nobody competing that much. So, yeah, it'll be sick. It'll be sick.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, dude, I truly think I go out sub Lucas Bird, win an LFA fight in dramatic fashion.
It's going to be hard to ignore you.
Yeah, motherfuckers gonna know who my name is by June 21st. The world's gonna know who I am, which they should,
Mhm.
because I'm gonna be the most exciting fighter around. Yeah. What's your phone blowing up about?
I blocked off time for this podcast.
Nice.
PNC Bank, your new issue of at home. I don't know. I'll get tips on
Sounds important.
refinancing. Yeah. And then another correction from Stout. So,
Yeah,
shit.
got a lot of shit going on, dude. UFC this weekend, also the 247 fights. Ian Machado Gary versus Prates might be, that's a bold take. Might be the fight I'm most excited about thus far this year.
Could be the fight of the year.
Yeah, I think the fight I was most excited about was Sean Brady versus Leon Edwards, but this is a very, very close second.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a banger.
I am actually gonna go out on a limb and say Ian Machado Gary wins this fight.
I think so too.
I don't know how.
It's close.
It's a tough
toss up. I
call.
like both guys, and it's cool because I like both guys for that. Almost the opposite.
I hated Ian McGarry. You know that I wasn't a big Ian
Yeah,
McGarry
bro.
fan.
A lot of people fucking hate Ian Gary because
I
of
have
the
mad
situation, right?
respect.
But dude, he's a gangster, loves fighting, and also like live your life, bro.
I gotta be honest with you. You want to know why I didn't like Ian McGarry?
Why?
People are gonna be like, you're such a douchebag. He had a cold sore during one of his fights, and during the post-fight interview, he was like talking, and he just had this big red cold sore right on the edge of his mouth. And I was like, you remind me of just like that guy in high school that thought he was, I don't know, it just bothered me. It like triggered me from like probably being picked on. I don't know.
That's the weirdest reason I've ever
weird-
heard.
I didn't like him.
Motherfuckers,
Then
motherfuckers just out here having a bad day, and you hate him.
I fucking definitely,
You're just out here with a cold sore, and you're like, fuck that guy.
I definitely
That's
form
crazy.
strong opinions on people that
Wild.
I
It's a
feel
wild
like
thing.
I associate people with like past people in my life.
That's
And that's
fair.
probably
I mean, I
why
think
I don't
everybody
like
does
Michael
that.
Chandler. I think he
Yeah.
probably reminds me of somebody that I probably have a beef with.
Yeah. I refuse to talk about Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. Pass. I'm good.
Fact.
Pass. I'm good on that.
Fact.
We need to get out. Yeah. It's fuck it. They don't deserve it. Either one of them.
Yeah, they're tweeting each other again.
Yeah, who
Like,
cares?
stop it.
Yeah. But Prates,
Yes.
the fighting nerds, are incredible. They're I was listening to Mike and Will's podcast. I didn't know that they just like, which actually I love about them. There's 4 of them, right? The 4 horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this girl that was on the fight team. And then she lost and they just fucking, they're like, yeah, she's not on our team anymore. Which I agree with. Right? We're not stooping down to your level. Right? If you're gonna be a loser.
At what point in time does the loss become acceptable?
At what point in time? Now, all of them now because they're all in the top 10.
Like if they lose, they stay in
They're
there
all in
because
the top 10. They won like Gym of the Year, Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
They did it, right? They got to the top. Now
it's like they
it's
made it through the selection process.
yeah, right? It's like I like to relate to stuff to other sports, but it's like, if you go undefeated in football and you make it to the playoffs, it's like it's the expectation that you win the Super Bowl, yes, but it's also like, I mean, you're bound to fucking lose at some point. You know what I mean? It's almost more like I feel like the probability if you go undefeated in the regular season is higher that you lose.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Protez is good. It's a Muay Thai versus I would say like modern striking in a way, which is that things change, right? It's MMA is ever evolving, but I would say it's like a kind of a traditional power puncher versus an outside, tag you up kind of guy. Typically, the tag you up guy wins. I also think Ian is more well-rounded. In terms of and that's just me basically going off of the MVP and the
Shavkat.
Shavkat
He
fight.
grappled with Shavkat
He had
pretty well.
Shavkat's back for 5 minutes. I
Yeah.
thought he was gonna win.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I don't know. Ian Gary deserves his respect, win or lose.
Fact.
Protez is a gangster.
And you're going to be down there training with him. He's at Killcliff, right? Or does he train over it?
He bounces around.
Does he?
I think he's at Shootbox now.
Okay. He
And
was Killcliff for a while.
Yeah, he's like been a gym nomad for a while where he kind of bounces around. But yeah, I'm going to Killcliff soon.
What are you able to like say about like are you just like how is that set up for you? Obviously, I imagine through your management company helps you with that, or is it done on your own?
No, they provided like a place to stay and a way to get there.
Nice.
And I'm going
just
down.
Like plug into the MMA classes, or do you have like a full set schedule?
They got me. They're gonna be like, yo, they know you're coming. Go talk to this guy. Yeah, it's like a video game.
Yeah.
Right. It's just funny. When I was a little kid, I used to play an MMA video game. It wasn't even called UFC. It was like called MMA. I forget what it's called. And you'd go to a gym and like it was the same shit. You'd be like, hey, I'm Boss Rutan. Let's learn how to throw a jab. Something like that. And I'll get to spar with like some of the really high level guys. I have a buddy that I know went down there like 2 weeks before or 2 weeks ago. He went down at the time the UFC fights were going on. I don't know why he didn't go. His name's Bilal Hassan. He's a CFFC flyweight champ. Follow him. He's so good. So good. He's amazing. And I like messaged him. I was like, how's the trip? He's like, bro, they're amazing here. You need to come down. And I was like, word, booking my trip right now. Hit up my manager. We have the same management. And yeah, we went. I'm excited to go down. I think next time I'm gonna go down with Bilal, and meet him down there. But yeah, it's a really cool opportunity, to train with the best people in the world. And I'll never pass up on that. It's not something that I think like traveling and training, I think that it does have benefit, but this isn't something like I'm not trying to kind of like Ian Gary, right? I'm not trying to bounce around gym to gym to gym, right? My home base is here, right? I'm really not that interested in going. Killcliff is, and you can ask Mike, Killcliff's the gym that I had my eyes on to want to like cross train at since the beginning. But like I think in the future it'll be like Lucas goes down to Killcliff for 2 to 3 weeks to get his camp started, dials in with Mike and Will, right? They know me better than anybody. They're gonna get the best out of me. I'm not gonna be, bouncing over Killcliff, going to Cali, going to AZ, doing all this and that. Like it just doesn't benefit me. Maybe for like a vacation and I go train, kind of like what I did at Tim's gym last year.
Soak up some
knowledge, enjoy it out of camp.
Yep.
But when I'm in camp, like Mike and Will are my coaches and Warren. and whatever I can get out of Kill Cliff, right? My management is part owner of Kill Cliff, so it's a collaborative
Makes
thing, right?
sense.
They're essentially part of my team now. So yeah, I'm
That's really
excited.
awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. I'll tell Michael Chandler, that you're a big fan.
Dude, I tell him this is Rumble's boy, and Rumble taught him how to throw any weight. I'm a fat boy right now, so
Yeah, man.
he probably weighs as much as I do right now.
Michael Chandler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
bro.
big son of a
He's
bitch.
probably like 200 pounds. He looks so small compared to Patty, though. It's crazy. He's got a weird build, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like gut. When like all the rehydration just goes to his muscles and it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's wild.
I'm down. I'm down. I'm trying to think who like Michael Johnson. I don't, does he still train? And he's a Kill
So
Cliff guy.
I think yeah, Michael Johnson.
I used to chat with him.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's down there. There's a lot of guys. People I'm really fond of from the wrestling community. Dorian Caldwell, he's my favorite wrestler when I was a kid. Him and Jordan Oliver, who
Mm-hmm.
both go there. They were both like I modeled my entire wrestling style off of both of these guys. Um, and Caldwell, I've like messaged back and forth with a lot. I actually need to tell him I'm coming down. And yeah, man, there's a lot of cool guys. Robbie Lawler's the head coach now, or one of the head coaches, along with Henry Hooft. Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, super cool opportunity. Super cool. Yeah.
And then that's you come back from that
I come back from that
and
and the
then go
week
right
after
into
I
camp.
drive to well, I'm gonna
Or you do the AC thing down
yeah.
with Lucas, and then you come back. When do you start camp for the June 20?
No, I already started.
You're kind of
I'm
in.
never not really in camp. It's just like I have like a
When does the video come from Will? Well, I guess you gotta lock in
no video from what I don't have an opponent.
yeah, so you'll
Right.
have a
Once I get an
yeah,
opponent,
like how are you gonna do that knowing that this may be a little bit more is it gonna be more short notice on who you're fighting potentially?
yeah.
And how do you tailor that knowing that you're stepping up in competition but may not know and can you like dial a game plan in that quickly?
How I would do it would be to be the best version of myself,
Just be
and
the
not
best version of you.
worry about it. Right. And then alter the game plan. Like 4 weeks out, we come up with game plan. If I start fighting them and I'm like, man, we got to change the game plan, we change the fucking game plan in the middle of the fight. I mean, if I told you you had a fight in 8 weeks, you would be like, I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna do everything I can to be the best version of myself when I go fight. That's what I'm doing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I'm not too worried about who I'm fighting. Like we have kind of like the silhouette, right, record wise and stuff we want to fight
So
for
you
this
have an
fight.
idea of what they're capable, where they may have some strength and
Comparative,
weaknesses.
yeah, because I got offered not even that, just really the record. I got offered a couple guys in April and we decided that was too soon on the timeline. We were like, yeah, we want similar opponents to record wise.
Gotcha.
Like 3-1, 4-2, like that kind of record, right? Winning record, good record. But not like undefeated. Not there yet. I would take one if it made
Yeah.
sense. I don't really care. But that's what Mike Will and my manager kind of all agree upon.
This
So
is the thing that is missing from, I think, MMA. And again, it's probably a part of why the UFC is especially is so popular, but boxing, and you hear people talk about this all the time, boxing builds up their stars. And I think O'Malley is a great example where they got it right, where they built up a star.
Connor too.
Connor, agree. Yeah, I don't think people realize that. And then he capitalized with Aldo, but they kind of fed him. I remember when he fought Dennis Seaver.
They feed them all.
You know, it was like, man, now looking back on that, it was just such a perfect.
What they did, well, they can only feed them for so long, right? That's one thing that like upsets me when people are like, oh, they're getting spoon fed wins, right? All right, let's look at O'Malley's career. O'Malley fought guys that were like, you know, not the best people in the UFC, but he was at that, like, he wasn't supposed to be fighting the best people in the UFC at that point, right? And then he beat he beat somebody, fought Pedro Munoz, right? Pedro was ranked like maybe in the top 10. O'Malley was just outside the top 10. And that fight went no contest, right? Let's say O'Malley wins that fight. Either way, they kind of viewed it as he won, right? And they're like, "You're our star." And then they can't spoon feed him anymore, right? He took Peter Yan on like kind of a short notice thing. Like, no, there was nobody else for Peter Yan to fight. So they're like, "Fuck it." And then Sean
how many
had a
fights
banger.
removed was it from when he fought the guy with the crazy colored hair? But that was he stepped in, if I'm not mistaken, because of
Chris Munoz. He was supposed to fight Pedro or Chris Montino.
yes.
I think Sean was supposed to fight Pedro Munoz, and he pulled out. And then Chris Montino stepped in.
And he just
he beat the
picked
fuck
him-
out of him.
picked him apart.
And it was on the card that Connor broke his leg against
yes.
Dustin Poirier.
Yes.
And Sean was the first fight. And it was like that's also marketed well, right? They're trying to build Sean. And then Sean fought dude that used to be a flyweight. I don't know his name. But Sean fought him, knocked him out in the first round, and then fought Pedro Munoz, no contest, because of an eye poke. And then he fought Peter Yan.
Julian
Pava.
yeah.
Yeah. He used to be a flyweight. He looked small in the cage versus Sean, but Sean fucked him up, dude. That dude is good, too. First round finish against the cage. Yeah, Sean beat him, and then Pedro, and then they were like I said, dude, they can't spoon feed you anymore. He fights Peter Yan. He has a banger with Peter Yan, no matter who you think won that fight. Personally, I'm a Sean O'Malley fan. I thought he won the fight.
It was close enough.
But it was close, right?
Yeah.
And I think he gained the respect of everybody. I think Ian Gary's in this situation too, right?
Yeah.
I think even if Sean lost that fight, he would have gained a lot of people's respect.
Yep.
And then, all right, you just beat the number one contender title shot, Aljo, right? And this is where people don't understand. Sean rose to the occasion and knocked out Aljo. Right. Same thing with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's come up, right? He's fighting guys like they're a little bit older, right? At the tail end of their careers, building them up. They're building them up. And they're like, all right, man, we ran out of people. You're fighting Jose Aldo. He's exactly who he thought he was, who he said he was the entire time. He knocks out Jose Aldo. Okay, now you have a star, right? They're going to build you up as long as they can. But at the end of the day, you have to win the fight.
But I think the interesting thing with the Aldo thing, it wasn't just that they threw him to some really good guy like a Justin Gaethje. Aldo had the belt.
Yeah, well,
you know
that's
what I mean. It was like fuck.
Well, yeah, they have to.
It was almost that's like the dream scenario for Conor.
O'Malley and Connor's fucking so similar, right? And Patty's is also very similar. Patty, like in comparison, who did Conor fight before he fought for the belt?
Conor fought before the belt. Let's see.
Who was his fight before the belt? It wasn't Seaver. There's no way. Somebody pulled out and he fought them instead of Jose Aldo. Who was it?
He was supposed to fight. Who was he supposed to fight? All right, so he fought Chad Mendes.
He fought Chad Mendes before Jose?
So yeah, so he fought, and he was supposed to have fought oh my God, I can't think of his name.
Oh, you have Tapology, Hope?
Yeah, let's see.
Pull up Tapology, it'll be gray.
So he was supposed to fight Rafael dos Anjos. Or no, he fought Poirier, Dennis Seaver. He was supposed to fight Aldo after that. And Aldo pulled out, and they had him fight Mendes. So he was going to fight Aldo for the title
after Dennis
after
Weaver.
Dennis Seaver, which is crazy that he fought Poirier. It shows you how long ago it was, because that was like before Poirier was.
Yeah, Poirier might not even been ranked. Seaver's probably ranked like 8. But
Yeah.
like, okay, it's a money thing, right? Fighting is so hit or miss that they're like, all right, we got to give this guy his title shot ASAP in case he fucking loses, right? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Patty's next fight is for a title because we gotta get our money before he loses.
Mhm.
No matter how good they are, you have to get your money before they lose.
Think about this, but like with Conor, right? So he wins the title, then he loses to Nate Diaz.
Okay, but
Then he comes
he
back,
bumped up, yeah.
right? He comes back and he arguably, and he did, he beats Nate Diaz.
Yeah,
Then he fights Eddie Alvarez,
beats the shit out of him.
which, no offense,
Love Eddie
like
Alvarez.
I love Eddie Alvarez, dog, right? But talk about like perfect fight for Conor to almost reclaim his superstardom. Because think about it. Watch, listen to this now, right? Then he loses to Floyd, loses to Khabib, beats Cerrone, loses to Poirier twice. Never, I mean, losing record after winning against Aldo.
Yeah, some of those are fluky though.
But none. I mean, yeah, the Floyd Mayweather thing, he breaks his leg. I think he loses both of those fights to Dustin. I don't think he was going to win that second fight. I think Dustin was going to box him up.
Yeah.
But my point being, his superstardom rose
It has to, yeah.
20x during a point in time when he lost to Floyd, then he lost to Khabib, then he comes back and beats Cerrone and loses twice to Poirier, and his stardom continued to grow and grow and grow.
It takes the perfect formula.
Yeah.
Right? It takes the perfect formula, the perfect timing. It can't be fabricated. It has to be organic.
Mm-hmm.
Patty has it right now. I think Patty, I really wouldn't be surprised if Patty fought for a title next. I think they sideline him. If he doesn't fight for a title, I think he fights a Conor, a
huge
Ilya
name
Taporia.
to elevate his popularity.
He fights somebody where it's like, all right, we got to get our bag now. Even if he loses, we're getting a bag.
They're crazy to not try to set up the Conor fight for him.
For Patty?
Get him the Conor fight, get him even more
happens,
popular, and then bring him in to a title fight.
Patty is fighting Conor. That's my take.
I think you're right.
It might be like
I 100% think you're right.
They're gonna set it up. It doesn't make sense not.
It could be the biggest fight in MMA
and
history.
it could be the biggest fight in UFC.
And then you take I would say a strongly favored Paddy Pimblett to win that fight.
And then Patty fights Ilya Taporia.
And you're pulling like
the UFC's getting their bag off of both of them.
Yes.
Right? Makhachev's gonna bump up, go 170. Ilya's gonna fight Charles Oliveira for the belt. Max and Dustin Poirier are gonna fight for the BMF title. And Patty and Conor are gonna fight. Conor wins, Conor fights Ilya Taporia for the title. Patty wins, Patty fights Conor for the title. The only thing that would fuck this up is if Charles Oliveira wins, but Charles Oliveira is also very popular.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're leaving out,
and I think they're sidelining a bunch of. Like, I don't think who. If Justin Gaethje,
no,
they don't care about him.
No, if you're saying that, no, something that's kind of offshoot of this, if Islam's moving up, that means that there's a very high likelihood that we see a Sean Brady Islam Makhachev fight at some point in time.
Damn, I love Sean Brady. I'm going Sean Brady.
I feel like,
dude, I just want a goddamn American to be a champion right now.
Yeah,
I feel like we're lacking them.
If there's anybody that can beat Islam and grapple with, I mean, think about it. If Islam moves up to 170, who has the grappling advantage, Sean Brady or Islam?
Sean.
Like,
yeah,
does,
I think
right?
so. Yeah, his strength advantage,
He's
grappling advantage, size advantage,
big one,
built like a fucking gorilla. Yeah, I pick Sean.
I would agree.
I think Sean Brady's 170 champ by the end of the year. Taporia is probably a 55 champ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say Patty, but I don't think.
I don't know that he. I think they please set up the fight with Conor.
Dude, it's fucking alley-oop
in Ireland.
Do it in Do it at a soccer.
or in I
Do
don't
it
know.
at a
I think
soccer field.
Connor would want to do it in Ireland, and I think that would actually bode well for Patty.
Do it for dude. Take advantage of Europe right now. You have
Have Ian
three.
McGarry on that card.
Yeah, you have three people that run Europe: Ilya Taporia, Connor, and Patty. Are like take advantage of that. They should just fight each other for the next 3 years.
Pay John Jones $50 million and have him fight Tom
Aspinall, yeah.
on it too.
Have Connor and Patty co-main
Tom and John.
Yeah, do it.
Absolutely.
That'd be the biggest card ever.
Ian McGarry.
Put Ian Gary against fucking
I keep calling him Ian McGarry.
yeah. Ian Gary against whoever. Yeah.
Against the husband.
That's why I almost said that. Couldn't think. I can't get the words out of my mouth.
I'm gonna try. What do you think? Should I try to get this out tomorrow or later today? This episode,
yeah.
Or should I wait and hold it?
I don't know. I think we should definitely clip Patty versus Connor happening because it is. I wouldn't be there before it happened.
Well, I took the rest of the day off.
Oh yeah.
So,
oh yeah. Well, I gotta hit pads with Will.
well,
Yeah.
I appreciate the time as always.
Oh yeah, bro.
We're
killing it.